Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Freedback Friday edition of The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
No, you don't. My name is Mike Pewarski. I'll be coming to you from the East Coast, from Free Florida. The East Coast is the coast with the most. I will be here to assist as needed here on the Rundown, where we give you 2A news and conservative views.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is, well, it seems to be kind of the thing for the time because, you know, you look at the polls and you look at everything and, well, people just aren't digging liberalism, are they?
Well, not the people that are alive, no, but there's plenty of voters out there that love it.
That's it. That's the way they do it, Chicago style. Vote early, vote often.
You're an early vote often. Exactly right. Exactly right.
Too cool, too cool, too cool. So tell me, sir, how are things going there? How's the weather there in Florida?
Whew.
Florida?
88. Let's see. Hold on. Let's take a look. Let's take a look and see exactly what we got today going on. We'll do this real quick. Weather for it's 54 in Las Vegas because I'm already planning my trip to SHOT Show. So I've got that. Orlando. It's a horrible 75 degrees right here in Orlando right now. So
Oh, pobrecito, I feel so bad for you.
yeah. Well, the sun. Remember, it's 5:30, so we're already getting a little bit of sundown going. So it's we've dropped a few degrees. 80 degrees normally today, high today. So back down at 75.
Well, so Mike, I've got to for people who are watching, and I know there are probably some folks that are trying to watch us over on YouTube. We're not on YouTube today. We have been we have gotten our third strike in the community there on YouTube, and so they have basically said, yeah, we're not going to let you, at least not on the Rundown on YouTube. You may be watching us on 2A News. You may be watching us on Arms Room Radio on YouTube. You may be watching us on 2A on California Republican Assembly. But on the Rundown, which is where Freeback Friday takes place, our channel has been, well, how do I want to put it? We're on hold right now, which is interesting because the same video goes out on multiple channels. Yep. And so what that leads me to believe is that they've got it in for the Rundown there at YouTube.
Clearly so. And I think all we did this time, Craig, was, read another news story. I think that's all we did, but evidently they don't like the truth.
They don't like the truthuses. The truthuses, they don't want to be set free is what the problem is. And they know the truth will set them free. So the video in particular that they got us for was a couple of days ago. I think, or was it yesterday? It was the video in which we talked about the mostly peaceful robberies.
Mostly peaceful.
Yeah. Mostly peaceful robberies where, news outlets were being robbed. And, two of the three incidents that occurred in the San Francisco Bay Area occurred without anyone getting injured. And in one of them, someone actually did get shot. Former police officer, security guard.
That's right. Was killed. Yep.
Yes. Got shot and killed. But since two out of the three were considered, were even though one of them was armed with a firearm, they considered, because no one got shot, according to the way the media announces these things, the robberies were mostly peaceful.
Mostly peaceful. Exactly right. So that's just, again, listen, we talked about what AOL's, not AOL's, man, wow, how old am I? We talked about Facebook's, censoring being opinion. They finally had to admit that under oath, that it was not facts, it was opinion. Well, that's probably what we're looking here with the YouTube. Who's the CEO for YouTube, by the way? Do we know? I don't remember that cat's name.
I do not remember his name. But
on. See if I can do this, because let me look it up real quick while you're talking, because I got a special message.
I'll tell you what. Why don't we do this? Why don't I go ahead and get into the first story while you're doing that?
I got it. I'm ready when you are.
Fast. Look at you.
It's Susan Wojcicki. Susan Wojcicki. I got something for her right there. There we go.
Well, Mike, but that's the funny part is they keep doing stuff like this, right? They keep announcing this stuff and they keep doing this stuff, and then you're like, well, but all we did, and the funny part is you ask them, please tell me what it was that we said in the video that was incorrect, that was misinformation, so that we won't say that again. And they never tell you.
No. It's like what's going on with the Facebook, right? You know, you get suspended for some post you made 2 years ago that you got from Facebook originally. You know?
Right. Exactly. Or then they do the fact checking thing, right? Where they supposedly fact checked you, and then they fact check you with someone who basically disagrees with you, so they just offer an opinion, and that's really all they need to do.
Yep. There you go. Listen, Susan Wojcicki, born in July of '68. Mm-hmm. She's a Polish American young lady, well, 53, so not young lady, and she's there in Santa Clara County, California. So,
well, there you go, Santa Clara County, California. Okay,
she's from the whole Wojcicki family. There you go.
The Wojcicki family? Are you pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, that's their name. She's married to Dennis Tropper or Tropper.
Dennis Tropper.
So if anybody would like to drop a line, a respectful line, a very business line to Susan, and let her know that you don't like your rights being trampled upon. And I get it; it's a private platform, sure, but you'd still like to view both sides of the argument. You drop her a line.
Please make sure to do that. Please make sure to drop her that line.
Yes, professionally. Do it nice.
Unofficially.
Be nice.
Don't be mean. Be nice.
Don't meanie. No meanies.
But let her know. Let her know.
Yeah.
Let her know.
Don't be mean. Okay. I used to say to somebody all the time, don't be mean. Just don't be mean. Okay.
Just don't be mean, because that's considered violence. Speech is violence, by the way.
That's true. That's true. Concerned. You can hurt me with your meanness.
Right. So don't be violent with
That's
your
right.
speech to her.
Or don't be mostly not mean.
Don't be mostly not mean. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Okay. Well, hey, let's move right along. Hey, Patrick, good to see you, sir. Really appreciate you tuning in. He says, I'm sure Mike is drinking a tasty beverage to keep him warm.
No. We just had this conversation. No.
He's not drinking a tasty beverage to keep him warm.
Yeah. Look, Patrick, look. Empty.
Okay, well, let's move on to the first story. Now, folks, if the fact that this is not a headline on most major news networks really bugs me. All right. You guys know that right now the only thing the Democrats really have is January 6th. That's literally all they live for, because they can't talk about the economy because, well, it ain't good. They can't talk about inflation because, well, that's their thing. They can't talk about foreign policy because, well, nobody respects us. And those that like us only like us because, well, our president is a wuss. But anyway, so all they have is January 6th. And so we all know exactly what January 6th hearing is. We all know that it is 100% about the idea of making sure that, about making sure that they, what's the word I'm looking for? It's all about making Donald Trump look bad. And that's really all it is. It's about going after President Trump and making him look bad. Well, come to find out that, in this hearing, where they had a chance to offer various different things as into evidence, one of the things that they decided that they were going to offer into evidence were text messages that were sent to Mark Meadows. These were messages that Mark Meadows actually wound up sending to them or providing to them that were sent to him by members, by various different folks. There was stuff from folks who were on, what's the word I'm looking for? There were messages from people there were Fox News folks who sent stuff over to him. There were members of Congress who sent stuff over to him. There's a bunch of different folks who sent stuff over to him. But what they decided to focus on were these quotes. And one of the quotes that they had was actually from Jim Jordan. All right, let me show you the quote here. So here's the quote right here. And it was a quote that he wound up reading into the record, right? So Adam Schiff, the chairman of the committee, wound up reading this into the record. And this is from Jim Jordan. He said, on January 6, 2021, Vice President Mike Pence, as president of the United president of the Senate should call out all electoral votes that he believes are unconstitutional as no electoral votes. Now, here's what's crazy about this, Mike, is that that's not that basically, first of all, that sentence is literally, they stopped it mid-sentence. They literally cut the sentence in half and put a period there. So they put the period there. But here's the thing. That was the first sentence in a 3-paragraph text that was sent that paraphrased a 3 or 4 page letter that was written by a legal expert that was sent to Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan simply forwarded it as an attachment and pulled out and paraphrased it here. And yet they didn't mention the letter. They didn't mention the other 2 paragraphs. They didn't mention the fact that these weren't even Jim Jordan's words. Now, when they were called on this by the Federalists called him out on it, and the staff and the committee had to say, we inadvertently put the sentence there and edited it, and we apologize for the mistake.
Yeah, I believe that's called outright plagiarism, right? They're lying. They've changed they've literally, we're talking about changing the narrative. They're changing the narrative that they wrote down. They're trying to make it look the other way. They're trying to don't look here, don't worry about it. It's out and out lying. We've seen within the past 5 years and even more beyond that, journalists, when they were even accused of this, they couldn't even do the, oh, whoops, I'm sorry. No, they're done. They're out. This just goes to prove again and again and again that this is not about journalism. It's about sensationalism. It's about lying. And that's what they're trying to do any way they can. There is zero respect at all for the honesty and integrity of the mainstream media.
Oh, you mean the truth? Which,
yeah, listen, we know that these
no respect for the truth is what it is.
Right, we know that the scum up there in DC, the elected scum and their staff, did this, right? But the media to not be reporting on this, to not be trouncing this about like it was collusion, okay? Like it was some kind of Russian collusion charge that we still got to hear about, all right? This should be top story all day. This should be Watergate level stuff.
Well, but what's funny is, keep in mind, this is the same guy who said he had irrefutable evidence of Russian collusion between President Trump and the Russians. Irrefutable evidence.
He did. He just had to go make it up first. That's just like this.
Well, I guess he found out after they weren't going to follow up with him on the quote unquote irrefutable evidence. I guess then they decided, well, I guess it really doesn't matter. I can just make stuff up now. I can just alter stuff and make stuff. I mean, it is beyond me that no one has any interest in holding this guy accountable in calling him out on any of his stuff.
Well, because they're in each other's pockets. They're all in each other's pockets. They can't do that. You're talking to 2 different sides of the same hand. There's no separation here.
Right. Absolutely no separation. Because they're all on the same agenda. The left runs the mainstream media. There's a reason why, as much as we complain sometimes about Fox, but there's a reason why Fox is the closest thing we have to an honest dealer in the mainstream media. You get beyond them and you really don't have anything to deal with. But I find it anyway, on my last nerve. It gets on my last nerve, the fact that we can't get any sort of real honesty. And like I said, they ought to be holding this guy accountable, and they're not.
Yeah. No, it's very true. It's very true. It's a shame. It's an absolute shame. No, there's no integrity in journalism whatsoever anymore, and people continue to watch it and thrive upon it, and believe the lies. It's horrible. It's horrible where we are.
Bah humbug.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to our next story. Our next story, interestingly enough. Florida man is usually your thing. So normally when we're talking about Florida man, it's something having to do with Florida. But this particular guy there's a guy from Florida who has been convicted, and now, he's been sentenced he's been sentenced for being a part of the January 6th event, that the thing that took place on January 6th. This particular individual here, I will go ahead and pull it up right here. He is, well, first of all, at first I was like, wait, is that Mike? But then I realized he didn't have a full goat. So, and I know you weren't there. So this guy, Robert Palmer, he's of Tampa, not of Orlando. He got 63 months. Now, he got 63 months for repeatedly assaulting police officers at the Capitol. He had a board. He threw at somebody. He had a fire extinguisher that he was spraying on people, including police officers. And he also wound up, when he was done spraying it, he actually wound up throwing it at police officers. Now, Mike, to be clear, all right, now this is an individual who was assaulting police officers, who was involved in violence, and deserves to go to jail. Am I correct on that?
Well, is the conviction final? Because I want to make sure. Do we have to put the word allegedly in here still, or
no? He's not. It's not alleged. He pled guilty.
Did he plead guilty to assaulting the officers?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yes. So there is no right time to assault these officers. You've committed the crime. You've got some jail time coming to you. That's all there is to it. You want to go up there and you want to be a verbal protester. You want to walk around. Okay. You actually want to overthrow the government. You're going to do that by using force against the police officers. Well, guess what? Now you're going to jail for up to 63 months. So that's a no. You leave the police alone. You don't go after them. They're trying to maintain that thin blue line between order and chaos. They get it right every time? Absolutely not. We know that. They're human beings, but you don't go up there and you weren't there. If you were there to overthrow the government, the police officers are not the one you need to be overthrowing. Okay. How many of them stood out of the way and said, "Door's right there, bro. Door's right there." They knew what their job was. All right. And they weren't about to protect half those clowns up there. So it's despicable that you do that. Now, Craig, you did say you thought that looked like me. Is my hair that gray? I don't have that gray hair.
I think when you lean your head forward, when you need to lean your head forward a little bit. Plus, I think you have a lot more hair up front than you do.
That's a lot of lights. There's what, it is kind of, because there's some gray here and it looks weird. Anyway, I could not be. I contemplated going up there for the rally. Remember, it wasn't an insurrection, but I did not think I'd be back in time by January the 8th because I don't work on January the 8th, Craig.
Why not?
Because that's Elvis's birthday.
Oh, well. We cannot mess around with Elvis's birthday.
He is the king. He is the
king. Do not mess around with Elvis's birthday.
No.
Well, what got me about this story, and this is what's funny. Now, mind you, these are the words from the judge, Mike. All right.
Yeah.
These are the judge's words. Let me read these to you. It has been made clear that trying to violently overthrow the government, trying to stop the peaceful transition of power, and assaulting law enforcement officers in that effort is going to be met with absolute and certain punishment. That was U.S. District Judge Tanya S. Chutkan. Now, Mike, I want to say something. For a judge to say that, and yet that's not what was accused of doing. In fact, nobody was accused under the Insurrection Act in this entire thing that I know of. Now, if I'm wrong, hey, you can put it in the comments. But no one is charged with insurrection or attempting to overthrow the government. And this guy did not plead guilty to such a thing. He pled guilty to assaulting an officer, which evidently he did. But it's like, why would a judge irresponsibly say something like this?
Yeah, listen, she wanted to see herself preach, or she wanted to hear herself preach. Right. She wants to see her name in the newspapers. She wants to have her say on the insurrection and her say on Trump politics. That's what she wanted to do. That had nothing to do with his conviction on the police officers. I mean, to the extended way, sure, it all does. Everything's related, but he was convicted of. I think he pled to these charges.
Yes, he did.
And I think he probably expected a better deal than 63 months. So we may see an appeal on a pleading, which is kind of weird to see that. But this guy sounds like, she broke it off at him because she's probably got higher office in mind.
Probably so. I wouldn't doubt it. Wouldn't doubt it one bit. But yeah, this was
There is,
clearly
yep,
this was clearly her trying to get her
yep.
day in the spotlight, shall we say?
There is one other point I'd like to make though.
Okay,
Um,
please do.
this is all hair right here. See, this is all hair.
Yeah,
This is hair.
yeah.
This is hair. It's
I
just
see that.
really weird with the lights. That's actually a clump of hair right here. Also, that's all
Really?
hair.
Okay.
So, all right. Now you got me like hair paranoid. Hmm? I don't have that, tightly knit thing you got going on there underneath your hat. Mine just goes everywhere.
Well, it takes a lot of brushing, let me tell you, to make it go the direction it's supposed to go, and to cover up the spots where there's supposed to be hair.
It's right. Look, you can see it. You can
It's
see
right
it.
there. Look, it's right there. The hair's all right there.
I just dropped all my pens.
Oh. Oh wait, Patrick asked, "You guys should cover the egregious charge on the truck driver in Colorado." I'm gonna have to look up that story, man. Maybe we'll cover it in a different time. It's like, oh, keep your head up, Mike. I don't have my sunglasses handy.
This is white.
I think he's saying he's getting
listen.
shine off your forehead.
Hold on.
You got to get
If
some
I show-
talcum powder and put it there on your forehead, bruh.
Look, if you without the lights on it, look, it's normal color too. It's brown. It's just
It's
really
shining
shining
because
in
the
these
lights are
lights.
shining off of all
Look
the
at-
gray.
look at
That's
these
what it
lights. I
is.
mean, look at the lights. Look how bright that is. It's a bright light,
It's okay, man. Gray is okay.
You
Gray's
you would look
okay.
white under these lights. Come on.
Well, it doesn't hurt the fact that you're white.
Yeah, true. Very
Just saying.
very true. I mean, listen,
Not
I have
that
to
I've
be, otherwise
noticed or
that's why
anything, but you are.
that's why I got the job. I mean, if I wasn't white, we wouldn't have a racist on the show. That's why I'm here as a white supremacist,
Exactly. You are white. You are a resident white supremacist.
Otherwise I'd be like what Clayton Bigsby, right?
All right. So, Mike, I'm going to let you take this next one since it's a story about Captain Florida.
Oh boy. Listen, we know that Captain Florida Governor Ron DeSantis made this promise a few weeks back, where he said, we're not going to allow CRT to be taught in our schools. And the law is, and listen, I'd have to double check on this one, whether I know it was proposed. I know we just had special session. I think it's passed, but I don't remember the effective date of it. So I think that might be at crux in the article here. So we have a parent out there who is saying, listen, there's CRT in the school, so we'd like to sue the school over CRT. If I'm reading the story correctly, right, Craig?
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to remember this. Let me pull up the school here too. I want to pull up the school.
I've got it up here. It's
Okay.
Wrongs on our kids and employees. They call it the Woke Act.
Nice. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, they did give up. And again, I'm not sure when the effective date is on it. So, but now you've got parents involved in this, and these parents are. Well, let's see. I'm trying to remember what this show to figure out the school name for you here. While Craig entertains you, I'll get the more details.
We'll see. Now there you go. Gotta warn me. You're gonna throw me under the bus like that.
Yes, I know, right? Mm-hmm.
So the great thing is that this is giving parents the opportunity or the ability to be able to sue and actually sue and get damages and get attorney's fees. This is probably once again in line with the Texas abortion law. Once again, giving people the ability to actually stand up against these school districts. And I'll tell you, the hard part is that in many cases, school districts have what's called qualified immunity, or in some cases just immunity from being sued for the decisions that they make. And what he's saying here is, you can be held accountable. School districts should be held accountable when they violate this particular law.
Okay. And taking a look at it, like it says, it gives the parents the right to sue. Just like I said,
Right.
There's no current suit going on, and it looks like as of this past Wednesday, it was the effective date was the same as the past date of the Woke Act. So
Okay.
so parents have the opportunity, not just the state, because we know the governor has said already not going to let this happen. He's told school
Right.
boards, you're not allowed to do it. So
Mikey,
instead of just the governor coming down,
you're looking really bad right now, Mike. You're
uh-oh,
really like
that's
super
not good.
pixelated.
That's not good.
No, it's not good at all. Let's get you off the screen here real quick. We hear you just fine. You sound great, but your thing is not coming through real clear.
My hair might have gotten the camera. So.
Oh wait, hold on. I don't even know if we have. Do we have even have your? Oh wait, I'm sorry. I have to. Wait, I think we just lost Mike. I believe he will be coming back. He probably is just resetting his connection, which is totally all right. You know, we'll get Mikey back here real quick. All right, so let's go on over to here. But yeah, so folks, here's the thing. And when it comes down to critical race theory, it is literally, and I've spent a lot of time studying and researching this. I've talked to you guys about this. I sit on a school board. Mikey's back. I sit on a school board, so I'm very familiar with and have spent a lot of time really kind of getting to know and understand a lot of this stuff. And I'll tell you, it is some of the most racist BS. I mean, basically, it says that if you're white, you are racist, and there's really nothing you can do about it because you're inherently racist. It says if you're black, you're oppressed, and really there's nothing you can do about it. You're oppressed. And if you doubt that you are oppressed, then you clearly have internalized that racism, and you are now a victim because you don't even know enough to recognize that you are, that they're being racist against you and that you are a victim. And I'm sorry, but I didn't want my kids going to school thinking or believing that they were less than just because of the color of their skin, that they could not succeed because of the color of their skin unless they improved their proximity to whiteness. Which is probably, Mike, why I have you on the show all the time, and why we do a show with you now, because I think it improves my chances of doing good because it improves my proximity to whiteness.
Oh, you're trying to get you want a piece of my race card, the white race card.
Well, I want a piece of that white privilege, bro. Look,
that's it. The white privilege
clearly
card. Yeah.
Being half Italian has not earned me any white privilege, right? And playing the race card hasn't worked for me either. So I figure, let me get some of that white privilege. You know,
we'll see what we can do. I'll get you one of the white privilege cards, but it's like the friend of white privilege cards. So
friend of white privilege card.
You get you out of some of the basic crimes, but not the big ones. Yeah. Like speeding tickets and misdemeanors, it'll get you, but it doesn't get you out of other stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. But at least, hey, I can still drop N-bombs and get away with it.
True.
Right.
True. That's the trade-off, right? That's the trade-off.
I can sit in the front of the bus.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
That's true.
That works.
I don't know what all that problem was about, too. The cool kids used to sit in the back of the bus. So I like the back of the bus, but that's just one school kid's opinion.
I always sat in the back of the bus when I was a kid, but, maybe that was just me.
Yeah, but nobody asked you to sit there, did they?
No, nobody made me sit.
That's right. After a certain point, you couldn't.
So here's a funny thing. I remember in middle school, I got in a fight with a 16-year-old middle schooler. Right?
Yeah. He was driving himself to school, right?
16-year-old white kid who was in middle school. And when I say middle school, I'm not talking I'm not talking 7th, 8th, 9th. I'm talking 7th and 8th grade.
Right.
Wasn't too bright. We got in a fight because he wanted to sit in my seat in the back of the bus, and I refused to let him. I'm like, look, y'all already put us in the back of the bus. I ain't moving to the front of the bus.
Listen, that's I get it. That's the 80s, so the rule probably was still big back then. Let the black kid sit where he wants to on the bus. We that fight's over. Okay, that fight's over. Let him sit where he wants to sit on the bus. It's his choice.
Exactly.
He gets first choice.
That's how it works, bro. That's how it works. Y'all just get used to it. Just saying.
Yep.
All right, let's move right along. All right, this next story, and I don't know what it is about California sheriffs, right? But this is like the second California sheriff in, I want to say in the last 3 or 4 years, who's actually been indicted. We actually had one who was convicted of bribery and a bribery scandal, in part relating to concealed carry permits. But this is the Santa Clara County sheriff who has been brought up on charges, who has been indicted on charges of bribery. One, for kind of approving concealed carry permits, in part by those who are VIPs, but then also as a part of the charges, not actually taking the time to review the applications of those who are not VIPs. In other words, if you weren't a VIP, they didn't even look at your permit, your request for a concealed carry permit, right? But if you were a VIP, you got expedited status. And there were people who ran security or who were on the security team for Apple and other tech companies that got concealed carry permits because they made donations to her campaign. And I bring that up because this is why we don't like the idea of giving sheriffs or police chiefs discretion, because in some cases their discretion is going to be about, okay, is this person a criminal? Are they not a criminal? Is this right under law? But in some cases, it's going to be about, in my discretion, nobody should have a firearm except cops outside of the home. And in some cases, it's going to be, well, if you're a special person, a person of good moral character, then we'll give you a permit. And that seems to be what was the case here in Santa Clara County. By the way, one of the most liberal counties in the state of California. And that's saying a lot.
And that's Santa Clara County, right?
Yes, Santa Clara County, San Jose, the Silicon Valley, all of that is there in Santa Clara County.
Gotcha. Yeah, the sheriff there, her name's Lori Smith. She's been sheriff there for a number of years now. And Craig, I'm not sure I agree with you about not giving the authority to sheriffs. The reason I like that, listen, I'd like to see a nice one centralized place in the state. Florida does it this way, where you can go to the state and get it. And the state we're a shall issue state. But you can also go to the local counties and get it also, just out of convenience. So just because the county says no, if a county were to say no here, they can't. The state still could say yes. So I think the state should be issuing them, and then the sheriffs could issue them also, just as a convenience to their local constituents. Mm-hmm. The reason I like the idea of the sheriff being able to have that responsibility is they are subject to being voted in and out. They are an elected official. Mm-hmm. They are subject to indictment. They are subject to removal from office. Police chiefs are not.
I'm not against the idea of them having the authority.
Yeah.
I'm just, my point is that this idea of discretion, it's this random, whatever I feel. And you have some cases where you have a sheriff in San Francisco County who's issued less than 10 concealed carry permits. That's a high number. Yeah. At one point, there were only 4 concealed carry permits in all of San Francisco County, right? And then you have some sheriffs who, as long as you pass the background check and you take the class and pass the class, then they'll issue a concealed carry permit.
Does the state issue them in California at all?
No.
See, now that's wrong. See, now that's it. And you can't have one. Yeah.
In the state of California, if the state were issuing them, they just wouldn't issue any.
Right.
Because keep in mind, this is California.
Yeah. So no, I get it.
Sunshine.
I like that, and here's the reason I like that. One of the reasons that I like that the sheriff can issue them, because she was just indicted over this. She was indicted over 5 or 6 different charges, including concealed weapons permits and then some campaign contributions as well. Now, the only thing with this indictment is she cannot serve jail time with this. The only punishment she can get from this indictment is she could be removed from office. So she could lose her job over this. And guess what? That makes a pretty good point. When if the sheriff's going to screw you over, you get a nice gung ho state attorney to come in there and say, look, here's the violations.
Right.
Let's do this. And so here she is. She's facing losing her job.
I'm not in disagreement with anything you're saying. Yeah. The point of discretion is literally it is whatever
she's abusing her discretion. Right. She's 100% abusing her discretion. Yeah.
It should be It should be shall issue. Do you meet these qualifications? Are you legally able to carry a firearm or possess? Are you legally able to possess a firearm? Have you been convicted of whatever the crimes are that would keep you from being able to possess a firearm? Right.
Yep.
And if that's the case, then the only good cause required is I want to defend myself. There shouldn't be any good cause requirement. And that's where they wind up getting people, is they get them on good cause.
There should be no good cause. Yeah, and that's what we saw from, and this is why she made our list. Kathy Lanier, the former DC police chief, she said, and her definition was, unless you're actively being attacked, you do not have a good cause. So unless you were applying for the license during the rape or the burglary, she was not going to grant it.
Exactly.
That's what she said. She said if she said once the act is complete, there's no longer a threat. Oh, okay, got it. So yeah, this may all go away too, Craig, with the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association case.
Yep.
Because they're arguing May issue right there now. The justices of the Supreme Court are sitting down on it, figuring out what they're going to do. This may come back and change nationwide to shall issue.
It will definitely be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting to see.
Yep.
All right, Mike, let's get on to our parting shot of the day. Okay, now this is the reason why I wanted to go ahead and do this one was because we're all the internet is all a Twitter about Omicron, right? The Omicron variant of COVID, right?
Yes.
Now, everyone's talking about, oh my God, it's spreading so fast. It's spreading so fast. It's spreading like wildfire. You got the NBA is shutting down games. You got in New York City, they're shutting down Broadway because people are testing positive with Omicron. But when you ask this very important question, okay, how many people are getting sick and winding up in the hospital? Are we seeing a spike in hospitalizations? No.
Listen, I saw a story yesterday, and it was about again, the only, Craig, it seems like only hospitals in the blue controlled Democrat cities are having explosions of populations in the hospitals. It's amazing. Nowhere else is this happening.
Because what's happening is people are they're worried, they're getting a little cold and they're going to the hospital, or they're testing at home and they're like, oh my God, I've got COVID. So they go to the hospital. Do you know the average hospital stay for someone who is there on COVID has gone from 8 days down to 2 days? Because people are showing up and they're like, oh yeah, you're really not sick.
Yeah. Go home. Yeah. Go home.
You're really not sick. You may have taken one of your rapid tests and tested positive, but you're really not sick. And it's the thing that gets me is that when you ask those questions, when you even inquire things like that, one of the first things they say is, well, you know what? You're just denying the science.
Oh,
and why don't you trust the science and get the vaccine or wear the mask, right? But that's not how science works, is it?
What? Show me the graphic here. Let's see the parting shot.
Okay. Trust science is the most anti-science statement ever. Questioning science is how you do science.
Listen, if we just trusted the science, right, we'd all be living on a flat Earth.
Yep.
The sun would be revolving around us. Women would get pregnant because of the moon. That's what science is.
That's what, to the moon.
The best science at the time said that's what the truth is. So just trust it. Just trust it.
Right. And like I said, I get frustrated with people because they say, well, you're just doubting and you're just denying. No. I'm asking a legitimate question. And they go out of their way to deny people the ability to even question some of these things.
Yep.
And we're not asking questions that are completely crazy, like, and I'll go here. Science says there are two genders. There's male and there's female. Where do all of these other genders come from?
Well, we don't want you to trust that science, Craig. Don't trust that science. That's different science.
There's only you're an innie or you're an outie.
No, it's different science. It's different science. Yeah. Or what about a not so far outie?
A not so far outie. Okay. Inappropriate jokes came to mind. We won't go there.
We're not talking about belly buttons, right?
No, we're not talking about belly buttons. Belly buttons do not determine gender.
Oh, you're a pervert then.
You're a prevert. Oh, Mikey. Well, anyway, folks, so that's going to be it for today. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Mike, how about a quick shout out to our sponsors?
Hey, guerrilla machining, grid defense, and the California Public Assembly. I actually sat down and saw 2 out of 3 of them today. So great to see all the people there, and make sure you support them because they're good people.
And Patrick, we're going to take a look at that Rogel Aguilera Maderos. We're going to take a look at that one, and who knows, maybe that'll make a good story. Patrick's like, look, that'll have you guys saying, WTF. So we'll check that one out and see if it makes our cut for Manic Monday. But anyway, folks, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing and telling your friends about the Rundown. It's the place to talk about 2A news and conservative views. And make sure you visit our sponsors. Follow the links in the description of our video and let them know that the folks at the Rundown sent you. We'll be talking to you guys later. Enjoy the weekend.
Have a good weekend.